Avi Hoffman's Too Jewish Too has been made possible by a grant to WXEL's Fund for Jewish Culture Programming from the Simon C. Fireman Charitable Foundation and the Michael and Florence Edelstein Family Foundation, supporting the preservation of Jewish culture, and the Nathan Cummings Foundation, rooted in the Jewish tradition and committed to fostering arts and culture that enriches communities.
Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Avi Hoffman, and not too long ago I taped a show called Too Jewish. See, in that show, that's where I started to explore my Jewish identity. See, that show was dedicated to the immigrants who came to this country, among them my grandparents and my parents, Holocaust survivors who escaped the horrors of anti-Semitism in Europe. And they came to America with a dream of freedom and opportunity. And they spoke in a beautiful language called Yiddish. I also spoke in that show about the entertainers who performed for all those immigrants, the people who created the Jewish vaudeville, people like Fivish Finkel and Menashe Skolnick, who tried to bridge the gap between the Jews and the non-Jews, between Yiddish and English. And they created an entirely new language called Yinglish. See, but I grew up in a very Jewish world, in New York, surrounded by Jewish culture, Jewish comedy. My parents, when I was a little boy, they used to take me down to 2nd Avenue to see the great stars of the Yiddish theater. But I was born right here in America. We Jews, we've been in America for over 10 generations. Many of you out there are probably 2nd, 3rd, maybe even 4th generation Americans. But as we all become more and more American, are we losing a part of ourselves? Are we forgetting that unique cultural identity that makes each one of us who we are today? I mean, I have 2 little girls, and my children get to grow up in the 21st century. How do I pass on to them that love of our unique culture that was given to me so easily, so naturally? It's a tough question. So I became very, very passionate about my Jewish cultural history, and I started doing a lot of research. I listened to a lot of old records, and I read a lot of great books. I mean, these are truly great books. Great books. Great Jewish men, great Jewish women, great Jewish families, great Jews in the performing arts, great Jews in music, and great Jews in sports. That's just a little book. No, I'm just kidding. You'd be amazed. Then, of course, there are all the books about Jewish humor. The Book of Jewish Humor, the Big Book of Jewish Humor, the Treasury of Jewish Humor, and the Encyclopedia of Jewish Humor. And on and on and on and on. But as I was reading all these books and listening to all the old records, I realized that there was so much about the American Jewish culture that I didn't know. Treasures that seemed to have been lost. There were comedians and songwriters in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s who've mostly been forgotten. Some you may have heard of, others perhaps not. How many of you here remember Mickey Katz? Anyone? Good, good. All right, for those of you who don't know, Mickey Katz is the Academy Award-winning actor Joel Grey's father. He was one of the greatest Jewish performers of all time. His concerts used to sell out all over the country, even at Carnegie Hall. Now, a lot of the material in the show that you're about to see comes from that time, when Yinglish was king, when we American Jews were trying to understand and emulate all the different ethnic cultures, the immigrant cultures around us, the Irish, the Italians, the Chinese. We were learning to become Americans by making America part of our Jewishness. When the celebrities were people like Mickey Katz and Eli Bass, Alan Sherman and Jack E. Leonard, Myron Cohen, Emil Cohen, Cab Calloway Cohen. Now, a lot of the jokes might be a little old-fashioned, but these are the classics. The jokes, the songs, the stories that set the foundation for the golden age of American entertainment for the past 50 or 60 years. And a lot of these jokes, they still make me laugh. For instance, here's a joke. It's Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish faith, and the rabbi is finishing up a fiery sermon all about repentance. And he gets so caught up in the emotion that he falls down to the ground. He looks up at the sky. He says, "Oh Lord, Master of the universe, before thy greatness, I am an insignificant nothing." And the cantor, not to be outdone, he also falls down to the ground. He looks up at the sky. He says, "Oh God in heaven, I too am nothing." And Mr. Klein, sitting in the front row, he gets so excited by the whole thing. He falls down to the ground. He bangs on his chest. He looks up at the sky. He says, "Oh God Almighty, I too am nothing." And the cantor turns to the rabbi. He says, "Look who thinks he's nothing." So I would like to start at the roots of American Jewish culture. And then I'd like to examine Jewish identity, not only in America, but all over the world. And maybe on the way we'll figure out why I'm too Jewish. So you can't start a show about Jewish culture and heritage without a very thorough examination of the most important element of Jewish existence: food. Food is the centerpiece on the Jewish table of life. Food was also a great source of comedy material up in the Catskill Mountains. How many of you used to go to the Catskills? Anybody? Oh, yeah. The mountains. You see, this was a unique sociological phenomenon that will never again be repeated in the history of the world. Hundreds of thousands of people, Jews and non-Jews alike, used to go up to the Catskill Mountains every summer to the big resorts, the Concord, Grossingers, Stevensville, the Nevele, Kutchers. Hundreds of thousands of people used to go up to the mountains every summer for one primary purpose: to eat. It's amazing how much food these people actually consume. I think it was Alan King who used to say, "My mother was the worst cook in the world. Everything had to cook for 4 days. She never believed the butcher killed it. My mother used to make a chicken soup with fat on the top. It used to congeal. You could skate on it." And the famous Jewish humorist Sam Levinson wrote about his mother's cooking. He said, "My mother used to buy 1 pound of hamburger meat and make 3 pounds of hamburgers. You know how? We had a slogan in our house: old rolls never die." Everything went into a hamburger. After a while, my mother learned to make chopped meat completely without meat. And I liked it that way. Food. Now, the Catskill Mountains, you see, some of the biggest celebrities in America got their start in the Catskill Mountains. People like Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner, Alan King, Jackie Mason, Woody Allen was a busboy in the Catskills. The greatest singers, Frank Sinatra, used to perform up in the Catskill Mountains. But there were a lot of performers who didn't become big celebrities, but they were delicious, nevertheless, and we shouldn't forget them. These are the people who became the social directors, the clowns, who greeted all of these hundreds of thousands of guests. And they came to be known by a very, very specific term. They came to be known as the Tumblers. What a beautiful place we got up here. Isn't it beautiful? Now you tell me, what is the most important thing up here in the Catskills? Food, of course, food. What else? Essen, fressen, ungestoppt. I can tell just by looking at you all, you're all very, very light eaters. As soon as it gets light outside, you start eating. I know all about you. Hey, what about those dining rooms, huh? Beautiful, magnificent, gorgeous, all-you-can-eat dining rooms, huh? Hey, what about the waiters in those dining rooms, huh? Talk about elegance. Talk about punctuality. You can talk about it, but you'll never find it. I overheard one guy talking to the waiter. He said, "Waiter, excuse me, are you the waiter I gave my order to?" Of course. Why do you ask? By now, I expected a much older man. You're wonderful. Waiter, an hour ago I ordered the lamb chops. Did you forget them? Or did I eat them already? You're wonderful. Your three guys are sitting at the table. The waiter comes in, he says, "What can I get you guys to drink?" Anyway, they all ordered iced tea. But one guy, he pipes up, he says, "Excuse me, waiter, please, can you make sure the glass is clean?" A few minutes later, the waiter comes in, he says, "3 iced teas. Who ordered the clean glass?" You're wonderful, just wonderful. Hey, there's one guy who comes up here every year like clockwork, and he always sits at the same table in the same chair, and he always orders the same delicious bowl of chicken soup. But today, he refuses to eat the soup. He looks at the soup, he smells the soup. Then he calls the waiter over. He says, "Waiter, get over here. I want you to taste this soup." Waiter says, "What are you talking about? It's the same soup as always. Eat it, enjoy it, it's wonderful." Man says, "Absolutely not. I want you to taste this soup now." Waiter says, all right, don't get so excited. You want me to taste the soup? Fine. If it makes you feel better, I will taste the soup, all right? Big deal, taste the soup. Where's the spoon? Aha! Says the guest. Food. Glorious food. We eat it. We talk about it. We dream about it. We even sing about it. Don't let the schmaltz get in your eyes. Don't let the locks get in your socks. Cheese goes with blintzes and eggs with salami. Don't let the schmaltz get in your eyes, or you look like a dream all smeared with sour cream and tzatskale. You're the one for me. All right, everybody, sing after me. Too many bagels. Too many seltzers. Just like a blimp, you're full of gas. Just like a blimp full of gas. If I'm gone too long and your pippic starts to jump, when the stars come out, I'll bring a stomach bug. Matzah sings dishes, it's so delicious. Listen, you all hail sich zu. If you are flicking, there's nothing like chicken for the baby, the booby, and you. It's Simis and Kachki, Chapa Cholachki. Tomorrow we'll bullshit, it's true. A glazerless seltzer will straighten you out. If not, baking soda will do. Misha Mishunehu, Hulikidrulyenu. Give me no tzore, Schlag dich Kaporis, Chattanooga Choo-choo. Entschuldigt, wir Boychik. Is that the Chattanooga Choo-choo? Track 29. I gotta be there on time. All right, everybody, I need your help with this next number. I need you to snap your fingers or clap your hands. Whatever you want is fine with me. But you gotta help out the band, all right? We need a rhythm section. Here we go, and... 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Keep it up. Don't stop. Here we go. Good. Oi, I went to Boynton, a delicatessen, for $30 and plenty to fressen. The boss, he promised me a real gediller instead of gediller. I catched me a killer, you know, 15 tons of hard salami, corned beef, rolled beef, hot pastrami. I hack everything, it's a essen. I owe my soul to the delicatessen. Keep it up. Very good. Oi, Sigavela. Yeah. Oi. I was born one morning and I gave a geschrei. My Bucher was happy. It was a holiday. I wanted my bottle. I felt real chippy. I didn't get nothing, 'cause it was Yom Kippur, you know. 15 tons, all kinds of smoked fishes, latkes, blintzes, and Hasek dishes. Oh, Lordy, never stole to the promised land. Alka-Seltzer for me, and Tums for the band. All right, that's enough. Thank you very much. Everybody to the table. Wash your hands, eat some fish. It's so good you'll eat the dish. Good young man. Happy Matzahs. Right, here comes the grand finale. Everybody to the Seder, come on, make our blessings. Hey, the boys and girls, now don't be shy. Eat a little matzah bright, then you'll feel it lay there like a rock. A glass of wine. Matzahs geht like Yiddishkayt, Simmons, Bull, the Salik, Licken. Hey, the food is so terrific. Grab a fliegel or a pippic. Take it easy or you're gonna plot. A glass of seltzer. And don't let the sugar get in your eyes. Thank you so much. We used food for everything. We used food to put our children to sleep. It's true. The most famous Yiddish lullaby in the entire world is a beautiful song all about food. It's called Rozinkes mit Mandlin, which means raisins and almonds. My bubby, my grandmother, sang it to my mother. My mother sang it to me. I sang it to my little girls. Some of you may know it, but many of you may not know what the words mean. This song was transplanted from the old country to the new world. And it was written by the father of Yiddish theater, Abraham Goldfaden. And I've always felt that this Yiddish song, maybe more than any other, somehow personifies the plight of the entire Jewish people. It's all about a widow, a mother. She's sitting all alone in the corner of the temple, singing a lullaby to her little baby boy, Yiddale. And she sings to him all about a pure white billy goat, a tzigale, right under the boy's crib. And that little goat, that tzigale, will take the child off to the marketplace to buy what was in those days a great luxury, raisins and almonds. In dem Beis Hamikdash, in a winkel cheder, sitzt die Almone Bastien allein. Ihr ben Jochel Liedalen, wiegt sie keseder, in singt ihm zum Schlafen a Liedale schein. Ay, Lilu, Lilu, unter Idales Wiegele steht a klare weiß Ziegele. Das Ziegele ist geworden a Handeln. Das wird sein deine Baruch. Rojinkes mit Mandeln. Schlaf, Sheidale, schlaf. There will come a time of enormous iron trains that will cover half the world, giant roads and highways that you will have to travel on in order to make a living. But if you should become rich and successful, please, don't forget this lullaby all about raisins and almonds. Es wird kommen a Zeit für Eisenbahnen, sie werden verfleizen a halbe Welt. Eiserne Wegen, Zesty euch spannen, in Westen dem euch verdienen viele Geld. Ay, Lilu, Lilu. Und als de West werden reich, Idele, sollst du sich dermonnen in dem Liedele. Rojinkes mit Mandeln, das wird sein deine Baruch. Idale wird als handeln. Schlaf, Sheidale, schlaf, Sheidale, schlaf, Sheidale, schlaf, ay, Luli, Lu. Thank you very much.